At the beginning of the movie, we see a girl named Malina who has been unconscious for a long time. When she regains consciousness, she finds herself in the trunk of a car. Nothing says wake-up call like realizing you're the unwanted baggage in someone else's road trip. She repeatedly tries to escape since the trunk is slightly open, but she fails each time because her body isn't functioning properly. Then, she sees a man approaching the car. His name is Max. Max is a drug addict and also a kidnapper who has abducted Malina. When your captor is named Max, you know you're dealing with the maximum level of bad decisions. Malina notices her phone in a garbage bag, which Max is about to throw away to prevent her from contacting anyone. As Max gets closer to the car, Malina quickly grabs the phone, hides back in the trunk, and pretends to be unconscious because she doesn't want Max to know she's awake. Max locks the trunk again and leaves to continue his journey. Later, we'll learn how Malina ended up in this situation. In the trunk, Malina tries to call her friend Eno, as they had started this journey together. However, poor Malina is now trapped in the trunk. She's gone from taking the back seat in life to living in the trunk. Talk about downsizing. When Eno doesn't answer the phone after several attempts, Malina grows increasingly worried. She doesn't know if Eno is okay or not. Then, she spots Eno's cap in the car, which makes her even more anxious that Max might have harmed him. In her anxiety, Malina desperately tries to escape the trunk, but to no avail. Meanwhile, she receives a call from another friend. Malina tells her friend about her situation, saying she's stuck in the trunk, kidnapped, and that Eno is missing. Her friend thought it was a prank because nothing screams comedy like, "Hey, I'm trapped in a trunk." Despite her doubts, the friend sends Malina some links detailing how to escape from a car trunk. Malina tries those methods but still can't get out. Feeling helpless, she wonders, where am I stuck? This isn't exactly the kind of escape room I signed up for. Malina then considers calling the police to alert them about her situation, but there's no network on her phone, and the call doesn't go through. While searching the trunk, she finds her own camera, which she had brought along to document the trip. Well, the camera is still rolling, but this is turning into a snuff film instead of a travel vlog. Through a video recorded on the camera, Malina discovers how she ended up in the trunk. While on their journey, Eno got into an argument with Max over something. Max, being a sinister person, pointed a gun at them and forced Malina into the car. When Max said get in, it wasn't an Uber invite, it was a one-way trip to why me? He made her drink water, which she initially refused but eventually drank under threat of the gun. Malina fainted after drinking the water, and when she regained consciousness, she found herself in the trunk, just as the story began. Lesson learned: if a creepy guy offers you water, it's not hydration, it's sedation. After what felt like an eternity, Malina's phone finally caught a signal, like a desperate fish gasping for air in a drying pond. She quickly called the police, explaining everything in a panic. A female detective answered her call, asking for her location. Malina tried to use her location app, but the network was so weak it made dial-up internet seem like rocket science. The partial location she provided was far off, which meant the police would take their sweet time arriving. Perfect, Malina thought bitterly. Plenty of time for Max to audition for the role of the villain in my personal horror film. The detective tried to reassure her. Don't worry, we'll find you. It's not like Max is hiding you in the Bermuda Triangle. Then her phone rang again. It was her dad. Instead of offering help, he went full Sherlock Holmes. Malina, what's this drama now? Kidnapping? Or is this just your creative way of asking for money? Malina blinked, stunned. Her father continued. I told you not to date that man, Eno. Now you're faking a kidnapping to elope with him? What's next, Malina? Selling me your kidney to pay for a destination wedding. Malina's jaw dropped. Really, Dad? One crisis at a time. She tried to reason with him, pleading, everything's a lie, Dad. I'm actually in danger. Save me. I've been kidnapped, not auditioning for a soap opera. After some convincing, her father softened.
Fine.
I'll help you. But if I find out you're lying, Malina, you'll wish Max had kept you. Later, Malina examined herself closely and realized why she couldn't walk. Turns out Max had taken the kid in kidnapping a bit too literally. He'd stolen one of her kidneys. Worse, he hadn't even closed the wound properly. Blood was seeping out slowly, turning her into a DIY medical emergency. As a doctor, Malina knew what she had to do. She grabbed a lighter and cauterized the wound like she was hosting a barbecue. The pain was agonizing, but she stifled her screams, knowing if Max heard her, she'd be the next item on his to-do list. Let's see him explain this mess to the police, she muttered through gritted teeth, a kidney thief with a lighter fetish. Drawing strength from a recording of Enno's voice on her phone, Malina distracted herself and got to work. Using an earring and a shoelace, she stitched the wound, biting down on Enno's cap to endure the pain. Guess I can add surgeon and masochist to my LinkedIn profile, she thought grimly. Just as she finished, the detective called again. She asked if Malina had noticed anything nearby. Suddenly, Malina heard the sound of gasoline being poured. Oh great, now he's fueling up for the sequel to my misery, she thought. Relaying this to the detective, she was advised to make noise to attract attention. Malina screamed at the top of her lungs, hoping someone nearby might hear. But no one did, except Max. He stormed to the trunk and threw it open. You think you can escape my webs so easily, he sneered. This isn't a bad joke, Malina, it's your life. And I'm the spider. Panicked, Malina tried to hide her phone. Unfortunately, the speaker was still on, and the detective's voice leaked out. Thinking quickly, Malina screamed again, drowning out the sound. Annoyed, Max slammed the trunk shut with enough force to rattle her brain. Relieved, she heard the detective's voice again. Officers are on their way. Hang tight. And Malina, avoid getting into another trunk anytime soon, okay? The detective also asked for Max's car number, but Malina didn't know it, which made the rescue mission more challenging. This realization made Malina even more scared, and she began to think she might not survive. Maybe I'm going to die here, and no one will save me, she thought. The detective tried to calm her, saying, "We will save you. Just keep talking, it will help reduce your fear." Malina began sharing details about herself and Enno, while the police continued their search for both of them. However, Enno's whereabouts remained unknown. In the next scene, Malina noticed a small box inside the trunk containing some tools. She grabbed a tool and broke the car's taillights, hoping to signal to people outside that she was trapped. Heavy rain began pouring, and water seeped into the trunk. Malina drank the rainwater to quench her thirst. When the car stopped at a signal, Malina spotted police officers in a car behind Max's vehicle. She extended her hand through the broken taillight, signaling for help. The officers saw her, but so did Max, realizing the danger. Max quickly swerved the car to the side and intentionally crashed into other vehicles, causing an accident. Despite the chaos, Max managed to escape the police. Now, due to the strong jolt from the car crash, Malina starts bleeding again. She finds out from her phone that Max has taken her out of the city. At this point, Malina starts to believe she is going to die. Panic sets in. After a while, the detective calls her and reassures her, "We're right behind you, don't worry." But Malina, filled with anger and frustration, shouts back, "By the time you find me, Max will have killed me. You've been giving me false hope all this time. We're on our way. We're behind you. We'll save you." I'm fed up. In her anger, Malina breaks a piece of glass and uses it to reflect the shadow of the car's license plate. Finally, she is able to figure out the car's number. For a moment, she feels a surge of hope, thinking that this information might lead to her rescue. But before she can share the number with the detective, her phone rings. It's Enno. Seeing Enno's name on the screen fills Malina with relief. He's still alive, she thinks. However, when she answers, Enno speaks in a cold, menacing tone. "Do exactly as I say, or he'll kill both of us. Don't tell the police anything about the car's number or anything else." The detective calls back shortly after and informs Malina, "Your dad has sent the money, but the kidnapper hasn't reached out yet. He hasn't told us your location either." This makes Malina even more anxious. What does Max want now? She wonders. He has the money, so why hasn't he let me go? Following Enno's plea, Malina decides not to reveal the car's license plate number to the detective, fearing that Max might kill both her and Enno if she does. Shortly after, Max's car stops at a police checkpoint. Officers are inspecting every vehicle. If Malina had shared the license plate number, she might have been rescued here, but she refrains on Enno's request, a decision she would regret. Malina calls Enno again to check on his condition. During the call, she hears a strange noise. The sound coming from Enno's phone sends chills down her spine. She realizes, to her horror, that Enno is in the same car as Max. Shocked by the discovery, Malina pieces everything together. She calls the detective and requests the phone number of the person who contacted her dad for the ransom. The detective gives her the number and Malina's suspicion is confirmed. It's Enno's number. Malina's world shatters as she realizes the truth. Enno orchestrated the entire kidnapping with Max overwhelmed with betrayal. She confronts him. "Why did you do this to me?" she asks. Enno coldly responds, "Now that you know everything, there's no point in hiding. I hired Max to kidnap you because I was drowning in debt, and you're the daughter of a rich man. Your father hates me and refuses to give me money. I didn't plan to take your kidney, but Max said it would fetch a good price. I'm sorry, my love. But now that Max has the money, he won't let you live. You've seen his face, and that's something he can't risk." Malina, devastated, exclaims, "You did all this for money? If you had just asked, I would have given you everything. I loved you." Then, in a trembling voice, she reveals, "I'm carrying your child. By killing me, you'll also be killing your own baby." Hearing this, Enno is stunned. He had no idea he was going to be a father. Filled with regret, he begs Max to spare Malina's life, offering him more money. But Max dismisses him, saying, "It's too late. She's seen my face. If you keep talking, I'll kill you too." Determined to save Malina and their child, Enno attacks Max, causing the car to swerve. In the chaos, he manages to open the trunk and free Malina. Despite everything, Malina feels a glimmer of gratitude toward Enno in that moment. But before they can escape, Max shoots Enno, the bullet piercing his chest. Enno collapses and dies instantly. Max throws both Malina and Enno's lifeless body into the trunk, intending to dispose of them together. As Malina stares at Enno's body, she mourns the man she loved, despite his betrayal. "I loved such a greedy, selfish person," she laments. Then, with steely resolve, she vows, "I won't let Max live. Even if I have to die to stop him, I'll do it." In the trunk, Malina finds a tool and jams it into one of the car's tires. The puncture causes Max to lose control, and the car crashes into a body of water. The impact is severe, and the car begins to sink. Max's reign of terror ends here, but Malina's survival instinct kicks in. The crash breaks open the trunk, and Malina manages to escape, swimming to the surface just as the police arrive. Though she is finally free and Max is dead, Malina feels a deep emptiness. What's the point now? She wonders. The movie ends, leaving viewers in awe of Malina's courage and resilience in the face of unimaginable betrayal and danger.